Joining me right now is Nebraska Senator Deb Fischer. She's a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. Senator, thanks very much for being here. Assess the situation as you know it.
Well, we have a really horrible situation that the Israelis are facing, and our part of this needs to be able to give them the time that they need to really defend their nation and to wipe out Hamas. We also need to give them the resources that they need. They are a strong partner for us. This is a strategic relationship that we have with them, and we need to make sure that we stand with them.
Well, I mean, for the last 2.5 years, this administration has been trying to get an Iran deal done with the Iranians and appeasing the Iranians' sanctions, enabling the Iranians to generate billions of dollars in revenue on the oil money so that they could sell the oil money. Do you think that's going to reverse course anytime soon?
Well, I would hope it would. Obviously, I was not in favor of that Iran deal to begin with. But now we're looking at, as you said, the appeasement of this administration, whether it's with Iran and their movement to release that $6 billion, which I'm glad they're talking about walking that back. That should be frozen permanently, and I'm on different bills and letters to push that happens. But we also saw the horrible, misguided withdrawal from Afghanistan, which I think really was a tipping point, and it showed the world that things had changed with the leadership here in the United States that was coming from the White House.
Well, the Pentagon is now vowing to hold Iran responsible for rocket attacks on American troops in the Middle East. They also expect a, quote, significant escalation of attacks against our troops, Senator. Your thoughts on that?
We've seen a number of attacks already on our troops with no response by this administration for the vast majority of those attacks. So it's good that the administration is standing up and saying it, but I want to see the action that follows it. We have to be able to have strong response when our men and women overseas are being attacked by a state-sponsored terrorist government that is constantly promoting attacks on the United States, on our allies, and we need to make sure that we do have a firm, strong response to that.
Let me get your take on some of the business in Washington this week. First of all, Jack Lew's confirmation hearing, where does that stand? The administration would like Jack Lew to be the next ambassador to Israel.
Well, he had his hearing before the Foreign Relations Committee. I have a strong response to that nomination. I will not support it. I believe that Jack Lew is not the person to be an ambassador from the United States to Israel when he was such a strong promoter of the Iran deal. He has a relationship with Iran that has been, I would say, on more friendly terms than I want to see from our ambassador to Israel. There are others that I think the administration should be looking at, and I hope my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are going to take this nomination seriously, are going to really question it, and look at the type of person that should be in that position, and it is not Jack Lew.
And then there is this packaging of money that Biden wants. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says he supports packaging aid to Ukraine and Israel together. Biden, as you know, requesting $61.4 billion for Ukraine, $14.3 billion for Israel, Senator. Where do you stand on that?
Well, the administration, they send over a supplemental package, a suggestion. I would take it. But let's remember, it's Congress who's going to pass the bill. We are going to decide what is included in that supplemental package. There is a lot under what has been classified as aid to Ukraine. I would point that out, that much of the money in there is to replenish our own stocks, which is necessary. On Armed Services Committee, where I'm second in seniority, we had a hearing last week from the Congressional Commission for Strategic Posture, and it was a wake-up call for this country and how unprepared we are.
Are we running out of ammunition?
We are behind in being able to produce the things that we need. So while we are providing Ukraine with javelins and stingers and gimlers, what is part of that package also reinforces our capability to produce what we need.
Well, this is a very serious issue as we're sending all this money to Ukraine, for sure, Senator. We're going to be watching your work on this. Thanks very much for being here.
Right.
Senator Deb Fischer in Washington. We'll be right back.